The dog attacked a domestic bull, but it turned out that the ungulate can fight no worse than a wild buffalo. At first, the bull ran away from the dog, but then turned around and rushed into a counterattack. He almost rammed the dog with his horns, and when the lighter opponent dodged, the bull began to trample the opponent. The dog was lucky to be alive, but now she knows exactly where her own ribs are. She will feel that pain in them for a long time. It was not worth angering this horned beast. We will show other cases today where bulls have shown that you should not be messing with them. The bear was so focused on finding food under his feet, but did not notice how a huge gaur, an Asian wild bull, came up from behind. Finally, the bear heard the giant's breathing behind him, looked back, and ran away in panic. The bear definitely did not expect that the huge buffalo would be able to come so close unnoticed. The predator was lucky that the ungulate just wanted to make way for it. If the bull had rammed the bear, even such a large carnivorous beast would not have been able to resist. And here the gaur drove a bear up a tree. The predator did not expect such impudence, but could not do anything about it. The buffalo was too strong and big. He doesn't even calm down and continues to attack the bear, forcing it to rise up even higher. This pit bull thought that this frontal attack and barking would cause the bison to panic. Of course, when a pit bull is rushing at you, it's hard to remain indifferent because this is one of the strongest dogs in its weight category. And most importantly, she has a stranglehold. That doesn't mean that she has a super strong bite. It's just that if she clenches her jaw, it's extremely difficult to get them to unclench it. Unsurprisingly, a pit bull can frighten even much larger animals. But the bull just looked at the aggressor like an idiot, and at the key moment threw the arrogant dog away. That pit bull flew away like a rag. The bison was not afraid, and this was good news for the dog, because in anger and panic, such a bull could simply trample the dog. As it was, the pit bull did a somersault in the air, and when she got up, he ran away from the bison as if away from a monster. Let this be a lesson for that little dog. There are red wild dogs in southern Asia. If you remember the story about Mowgli, then it was Akela's wolves who fought with them. These ginger dogs are not so big, but they are very numerous, dexterous, and cunning. Here they surrounded a female gaur and her newly born calf. The mother towers over the cub like a living mountain, but she was taken into the ring. There are about a dozen predators here, and although the red dogs cannot jump to the buffalo's throat, they constantly attack from different sides to distract the mother and kidnap the baby. But predators do not know who they were dealing with. Gaurs not only have crushing power, but also excellent reaction speed. The female quickly repels the attacks of the enemies, and then returns and beats off the calf as soon as another dog bites into it. The gaur literally scatters the predators and makes them run away. The stubborn ginger dogs are ready to put up with the risk of being hit by the horns and hooves of such a terrible enemy, just to defeat the calf. For them, this helpless baby is lunch, which will last the pack for about 2 days. However, the endurance of the calf's mother comes as an unpleasant surprise to the predators. The dogs can't drive her away, slow her down, or distract her. She stands menacingly over her cub, and her legs are like the columns of a protective dome. She's a pretty tough guard, isn't she? However, when the female is walking, she may not intentionally hit the calf's head. But it's better than the dog's fangs. The huge deer here thought that the larger branching horns gave him an advantage in the confrontation with the bison. We must pay tribute to this fighter. He is not afraid of a more massive opponent and boldly goes on the attack. Besides this, a deer can really rely on his antlers. They're huge, powerful, and sturdy. Many branches allow you to compensate and distribute the force of the blow from the front, as well as cover the beast from the side. To block the enemy's attack from the flank, it is enough for the deer to turn its head slightly to the side to meet one of the sharp tips of its enemy. And stabbing with spikes is dangerous because it can harm internal organs, hit the opponent's eyes, or even get stuck in his body. However, relying only on horns and courage in a fight with a bull is a mistake. Maybe the horns of the bison are short, but this beast itself is incredibly strong and cool. The bison is about twice as massive and is not shy about his strength. He easily throws away the deer from him at the first counterattack, and then pushes the opponent and shows that he messed with the wrong one. The bull plays, but constantly dominates the opponent. Probably if he wanted to, he would have crushed the opponent's resistance long ago, knocking over the deer and trampling it. But the bison prefers to deal with a worthy enemy and to behave with dignity and restraint, without bringing the fight to a fatal finale. However, a deer should not test the patience of a larger ungulate. If you think that the bison defeats opponents only at the expense of its physical strength, then you are honestly mistaken. Here, a very young bull faced 3 adults and powerful deer at once. Each of the deer is larger than the young bull, but he still does not allow himself to be driven away. Armed with branched horns, the beast attacks and forces the bison to retreat. But he overcomes the first fright. It seems that the very fact of his own retreat has become unpleasant to him. Therefore, the bison launches a counterattack simply out of stubbornness, to show the deer that they have contacted the wrong enemy. And the bison wins. He is dispersing a group of 3 deer where each one is bigger than the bull. Such courage deserves your like, don't you think? A large herd of buffaloes was grazing and minding their own business when a rhinoceros approached them. You'd be surprised, but he didn't know who he was about to mess with. Rhinos have one feature: they have poor eyesight. They are guided by scent, but movement from downwind is able to hide the presence of an animal from rhinos. And not even intentionally for him. Quite often, these huge armored beasts, weighing up to 3 tons, notice other animals next to them only when they are at a distance of several yards. When the blurred spot in front of the eyes develops into the figure of a fairly large animal, the rhinoceros may be scared, even if its neighbor in the pasture is another herbivore. And when a rhinoceros is scared, it attacks. This feature caused many ridiculous conflicts between the armored beast and other herbivores that were not even threatening it at all. The same thing happened here. The rhinoceros was just plodding along, and suddenly the dark spots formed into a whole herd of buffaloes. This caused giant stress. He was going to attack the whole herd and trample the youngest members of it, but he got involved with the wrong ungulates. The buffaloes acted decisively and at the same time wisely. The leader of the herd went one-on-one against a huge rhinoceros, which is several times more massive and much stronger. The bull understands that he will not be able to defeat such a formidable opponent, but his goal is different. He simply diverts the aggressor's attention to himself in order to give the rest of his family time to get away without unnecessary panic. That's pretty amazing loyalty to your relatives, don't you agree? The rhinoceros threatens the bull and he accepts the rules of the game. Visually, the buffalo seems to be an equal opponent for the rhinoceros, but this is a bluff. If a more massive beast releases its superiority, it will knock the buffalo down or pierce its belly with its horn. At the same time, the bull cannot retreat because his task is to distract the enemy. Therefore, the rivals circle, conduct accurate attacks without putting all their weight into blows, test each other's courage. And in terms of courage, the bull definitely won. He waited for the belligerents to leave the rhino, after which he carefully went to his relatives without loss or serious damage. The lioness thought that she could ambush the bulls, and if the ungulates noticed the threat, then they could simply escape. But the lioness was wrong. The ungulates will not let her go that easily. The cat did not know who it was dealing with. The bull not only showed the enemy that he noticed the presence of a threat, but also went on the attack first. The lioness just froze in shock. She did not expect such insolence, and the bull took advantage of this. The ungulate attacked the predatory cat, pinned it to the ground with a powerful blow, and then lifted it on its horns. In one powerful movement, the bull threw the discouraged lions onto his back, and she collapsed to the ground. The predatory cat could not even think about attacking bulls. She was lucky to escape alive and relatively unharmed. The mane prevents the lion from sneaking up on prey, but if it was possible to get close enough, then the male is dangerous even for a young rhinoceros or elephant. Taking down a bull one-on-one is a difficult but doable task for a lion. However, this predator clearly does not understand who it is dealing with. The lion clearly does not know why the buffalo does not run away if it has noticed the enemy in advance. Did fear paralyze the bull? Not at all. It's just that the buffalo is confident in its abilities. He is ready to fight back against the predator, and this is not banal self-confidence. The lion is attacking. He runs into the bull and tries to knock it to the ground, but the ungulate withstands the first onslaught. As a retaliatory blow, the buffalo tries to hit the lion with sharp tips of its horns, with sharp movements of its head to the side, rip through its skin, pick it up, and remove it from its back. An experienced lion understands this danger, so he stays behind enemy lines. Clawed paws cling securely to the muscular sides of the buffalo, while powerful jaws grab at the back. The purpose of the lion is to bite through the skin at this point, where the spine fits the skin. Then it will be possible to damage the spine and paralyze or at least weaken the victim. But the bull is much stronger and braver than the predator thought of him. The herbivore gives an impressive rebuff and throws off a predator that weighs more than 1/4 of a ton. At the same time, the bull itself is heavier, but for him, such a mass is still a big load. Nevertheless, the bull managed to repel the attack and go on a retaliatory attack. The lion is tired of these dances, and he runs away. This hyena attacked the calf, which for them was just an appetizing prey. But they didn't know who they were messing with. Even the young one resisted their incredibly strong jaws for a long time, waiting for the mother to come and save her cub. Perhaps some other herbivores would not have come to fight alone against an entire squad of hyenas, but African buffaloes are another matter. These are some of the best fighters among all the ungulates in the world. They have a number of advantages. This includes firmness of character, courage, aggression, and the ability to calm down in time to give the predator an effective rebuff. Often the predator's tactics are based on getting the herbivore off balance, panicking and making it run. It is possible to do this with bulls. However, there is a high probability that at a crucial moment, the ungulate will be able to calm down and give battle to a lion or another carnivore. And not just randomly waving their horns, but using their entire arsenal in a smart way. And this arsenal of the American buffalo is solid. The impressive power of a muscular body weighing about half a ton, huge massive horns with sharp tips and bases thick as a sledgehammer, sturdy hooves, and experience. Buffaloes often fight with each other, so it is normal for them to meet the threat with a retaliatory strike rather than panic. The female used all this to protect her young. She literally scattered a whole group of hyenas, fiercely and effectively repelling their attacks in all available ways. Ramming, kicking, butting. These hyenas have tried an arsenal of bulls on their skins, which they will surely remember for a long time. Like the lesson, it's not worth messing with such powerful beasts, even with such numerical superiority. Against an angry female buffalo, only the entire numerous pack of hyenas can come out. But even then, they are unlikely to be able to avoid losses. This rhinoceros prefers, although the only favorite technique is a blow from the bottom up. A proven powerful and dangerous strike, but only one. The tactical arsenal of buffaloes is much more extensive, but let's be honest. The same blow from the bottom up performed by a buffalo looks the most impressive of all his techniques. The lion did not know that he would be kicked and tossed like a ball when he saw the herd approaching. He underestimated the fury with which the ungulates would greet him. The buffalo not only pierces the opponent's skin with the sharp tips of his horns, but also throws it high up. These are the most impressive cases when the bulls sent their enemies into an unexpected fight. Moreover, we are not talking about some arrogant hyenas or dogs, but about lion predators and heavyweights. Here the buffalo surrounded the old lion, who could really not escape. This brutal beating evokes sympathy for the predator. The ruthless ungulates lifted him into the air several times, as if the lion weighed not 1/4 of a ton, but like a domestic cat. The predator was alive. He holds on and tries to take a protective lying position because it is difficult for bulls to lower their horns to the ground. But even there, the buffaloes get at the old enemy. Several different ungulates seem to test themselves during a series of attacks. The pride comes to the lion's aid. This is a rare case when an old lion is protected rather than abandoned. Thanks to the loyalty of the predator's relatives, the herd retreats. The beaten lion survived the beating. He is lying under a tree, in the trunk of which he was hit several times. He is alive and seems to be able to walk. Amazing survivability, especially considering the age of the predator. But after such a beating, he definitely won't mess with the buffaloes again. You should not underestimate the dislike of ungulates for the most powerful predators of Africa. Just look at how several lionesses attacked a buffalo and managed to knock it to the ground. The predatory cats fought desperately, and one of them practically straddled the bull while the others attacked its limbs. A well-thought-out attack by incredibly strong hunters, their coordinated actions and dexterity gave the result. The bull collapsed. But this was not the end, but only the beginning. You shouldn't have underestimated the bull. If after his fall, one of the hunters immediately rushed to the victim's throat and strangled him, then the duel ended with the victory of the predators. Instead, the lioness tried to turn the bull upside down to get to the softer belly, although the ungulate is still breathing and ready to resist. Of course, the bull was tired, but after lying on the ground, he regained his strength for the last final jerk. And after making a huge effort, the bull rises to his feet again. Of course, the lionesses are shocked by this, and one of them is trying to stop the bull. She attacks the hoof from the front, which was a big mistake. The bull immediately strikes a circular blow from the bottom up and hooks the lioness with the tip of the curved horn. The ungulate lifts the lioness with such force that all four paws of the predatory cats come off the ground. The bull shakes it like a rag and at the same time resists the attempts of the other hunters to throw themselves back to the ground. Finally, our hero gets to his feet. The lionesses are retreating, and they are ready to continue the attack, but they are stopped by backup. Another bull came to the aid of its kinsman. Interestingly enough, while the buffalo, which was injured by the attack, did not throw off the lioness himself, the second bull did not rush to his rescue. But now 2 buffaloes against lionesses, and the cats are leaving. It seems that these ungulates help only the strongest. This approach can be understood because a buffalo that comes to save its own kind is a great risk. And what do you all think about this? Let us know in the comment section. We would love to hear your opinion. The young lioness has found an unusual lunch for themselves, a rather large lizard. This is a monitor lizard with a durable hide. He has no chance against such strong predators, of which there are so many, but inexperienced panthers do not manage to crack his strong armor right away. Their hunt was noticed by a buffalo, who suddenly decided to stand out for the lizard and attacked a whole group of lionesses. Predatory cats certainly did not expect such self-confidence from a hoofed animal, as well as arrogance in interfering in other people's affairs. The buffalo furiously attacked the lionesses, and most of them fled, except for the one holding the monitor lizard. The bull decided to test its strength on it. He planted his feet and delivered a sharp, powerful, and impressive blow, sending the cat flying. She did 2 straight-legged somersaults in the air and collapsed to the ground in shock from such a blow. The lioness is strong and young. She is alive, but after this attack, she is unlikely to approach the bulls at close range, at least alone. She clearly did not understand who she was messing with, but after such a dizzying fight, she would definitely be more afraid of bulls than hyenas. Buffaloes demonstrate their maximum strength when they encircle lions, as in these cases. Here, a large herd of buffaloes surrounded the young predators and feel their complete superiority for a number of reasons. The huge mass of ungulates had an overwhelming numerical advantage here. There are only a few predators, and the herd consists of dozens of bulls. Therefore, buffaloes are not afraid of their enemies and act confidently. It seems that the bulls have decided to arrange a competition. Who will throw the lioness as high as possible? To do this, they used all the same tactics of hitting up. They approached the fry and lioness as close as possible, rested their feet, and powerfully beat the base of their horns into the center of the predatory cat's body. An incredibly strong blow tossed the lioness over and over again. Different bulls showed their strength to each other by using lionesses as a ball. And the predators here couldn't do anything. When they saw a herd of buffaloes, they should have run away. Then at least they would have been saved. But the lion and lionesses in both cases wanted to ambush and believed that the herbivores would not really notice them. As you can see, this was a fatal mistake. The bulls will not let him go just like that now. Lionesses can't run, they'll just be trampled on. The cats have to stay as low to the ground as possible to dodge the hooves flashing from all sides. But so that they become powerless against such the dizzying blow. In a matter of minutes, each lioness has been in the air several times. A particularly strong bull can throw a cat to the height of the second floor or even higher. The impact at the base of the horns is incredibly powerful. But thanks to the massive impact part, the force is distributed over a fairly large area on the predator's body. Thanks to this, strong and muscular cats can survive even such an impressive beating. They should not be afraid of a deafening blow that will send them flying, but of a miss. If the bull hits the lioness with the tip of the horn, then all the force of the blow will be concentrated in its tip. Then even the strong skin of the predator will not stand up, and the bull will simply gut the lioness. So far, this has not happened, and the cats got really lucky, as much as possible given the circumstances. Now their survival depends only on when the bulls play enough volleyball and stop kicking the helpless hunters. But when one of the lionesses flies up to the height of the third floor, it falls right on the horns of the buffaloes. It is difficult to say whether she will be able to survive such a blow and fall. In flight, the cat is even able to move its paws and only does a few somersaults because of the incredible force of the blow. But the weight of an adult lioness is like that of a small motorcycle. It is so easy to hurl such a massive opponent up to a great height. The strength of the buffaloes is just simply amazing, isn't it? Which case of the epic and furious rebuff from bulls gave to their enemies struck you the most today? Let us know in the comment section, and do not forget to subscribe to our channel to see even more of the coolest episodes from the natural world that hit the camera lens.